If you own a Newport Systems NK300 engine and you've ever found yourself wrestling with one of these connections that just won't come apart, or worse, you've taken your frustration out on it with a pair of pliers like I did, yeah, that didn't go so well. Well, this video is for you. Today, I will show you exactly what parts you need to order, the tools required, and a step-by-step how to repair that connection so you can get your engine running again and back out on the water where you belong as soon as possible. Stay tuned. This repair video is for a replacement of the Newport Systems NK300 engine throttle control connectors. For this repair, you will need a pair of wire cutters, wire strippers, a small screwdriver, a pair of tweezers will come in quite handy when trying to get the wires into the terminals, and of course your M12 IP67 rated 4-pin replacement part. There are several different brands that make this connector part. I will leave a link in the description for the one that I purchased from Amazon. Alright, so we're going to start by replacing the connector attached to the engine. This is the female connector, and this is the part that we're going to replace it with. So step one, quite simply, is just to cut off the old connector. Step two is to prepare the connector parts. There are 4 parts to this connector, and it is very important at this point that you remember to put 3 of them onto the rubber casing and that you do this correctly before attaching any wires to the terminals. Otherwise, you'll have to take the whole thing apart after you think you're finished just to correct it. So make sure you don't forget this step. So to start, we are going to take off the end piece, and this is really just a fastening nut. We're going to put this on the rubber wire with the threads facing towards the connector. The second part is the watertight bushing. That bushing will create a watertight seal when the fastening nut is tightened and will keep any water from getting inside the connector body itself. It is important that you remember to put this bushing on in the correct direction as you see me doing here. If you put it on upside down, it will not create any seal and you'll have to go back and fix it later. Finally, the last part is the main connector body. You just need to make sure you put that on with the narrow end facing the bushing. After this, the connector will be ready to assemble once we get the terminals wired. Step 3 is to expose the wires. I tried to use wire strippers for this, but because the tube is made of rubber, it just stretches. So instead, I used the cutters to score the rubber casing and then stripped it off. You'll want to strip off about 1 inch of rubber tubing and no more. If you strip off too much, the bushing that makes the watertight seal won't have the rubber hose to tighten down around, so just be aware of that. After you stripped off about 1 inch of rubber casing, you'll probably have some white insulation that's kind of in the way. You can just cut that off with a pair of scissors. And here are the 4 wires. They are brown, blue, white, and black in color. Later on in this video, we are going to need to make a note of these colors and what terminals they are attached to so that we can match them up to the male connector on the other side. Step 4 is to strip the wire ends. So at this point, we're going to need to strip the wire ends so that we can fish them into the terminals to make the connection. There are different kinds of wire strippers. I use this kind because they are simple, and we're going to strip off about 1/4 but no more than 1/2 inch of wire covering. Once we've stripped all 4 wires, we're just going to twist the ends down to make it a little bit easier to insert into the terminals, and this is going to bring us to step number 5. Step 5 is to connect the wires. First, we need to loosen the screws on all the terminals so we can fit the wires in there. And as I stated earlier, all of the other parts of the connector should already be on the wire and ready to assemble. If they are not, you need to do that now. Once everything is set and ready to go, we are going to use the tweezers to help fish these wires into the terminals, as my fingers are too fat for me to see what I'm doing in that tight space. And as luck would have it, these terminals are all numbered. So as I'm putting these wires into the terminals and tightening down the screws, I am making a note of the colors and what number terminal they went into so that I can match it up exactly the same when we wire the male connector. Step 6 is to put all the parts together. So if you've done this correctly, you have all 4 wires securely attached to the terminals, and all of the parts are already on the wire and ready to assemble. So let's put it all together. And there you have it. This is the final product. We now have successfully replaced the female connection Now we're going to do the exact same process for the male connector. Alright, so here we are outside at the kayak, and now we're going to connect the male connector at the rear of the kayak to the wire that runs between the control throttle and the engine. Just the same, we're going to cut off the old connector, score and strip off about an inch of the rubber casing, cut off the excess insulation that's in the way, and yeah, I almost forgot, we got to put all three parts onto the wire before we connect the terminals, so let's do that. Strip the 4 wires that we exposed, twist the copper ends, loosen the screws for the terminals, fish the wires into the terminals with the tweezers, and at this point we're going to refer to our notes to make sure that we're putting the wires into the correct number terminals so everything is matched up properly to the other connector. Tighten the screws on the terminals and secure the wires. And we're going to finish up by assembling the connector parts, and there you have it. It's all done, but the question is now, does it actually work? Well, we're going to test it right now. Alright, so making our final connections. Main power. 2 ends we just fixed. So if all goes well, we hooked up everything correctly. It should work just fine. Definitely heavier duty than the old plug. Nice and tight. And that should be waterproof. Drop the breaker. Alright, looks like we've got power. Let's test the engine. Yep, seems to be working just fine. Alright, I'm happy with that, ready to go this weekend. So I purchased a whole bag of assorted vacuum hose caps, and I'm using this one to protect the connector end. I also use these for my connections on my fish finder as well. And even though this connector is IP67 rated, I'm just going to further seal the deal with a little bit of silicone in that void that I'm pointing to with my finger. And here's a look at the silicone job after it was finished. It's not pretty, but I'm not trying to win a beauty contest here. I'm just trying to keep the salt water out. And here's the real test. This is me coming back from another successful fishing trip, and as you can see, it's performing just fine. Alright, that's all for now. I hope you found this video informative, and I hope it helped you fix a problem or get ahead of one before it actually happens. If it did, hit that like button, smash that notification bell, and please consider supporting me by subscribing to my channel. Oh, and don't forget I left a link for the replacement part in the video description below. Catch you next time, guys. Peace.